Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of the Rideau knitting podcast. My name is Cassie, and I am the maker behind Rideau Knits. I currently live just south of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, with my husband, our wonderful dog, sometimes when she doesn't disturb podcasts, and soon to be a baby girl. So this is my little corner of the internet to share the things that I've been making and what I've been up to. Mostly just a video journal for all of my makes. And thank you to those of you that are coming back to watch again, and welcome to those of you who are new. All right, so let's start with what I am wearing. So I knit this sweater a couple years ago, last year, the year before that, 2019, I think. And I actually designed the yoke pattern for this. I say I designed it. I used the template from a different pattern and the stitch, I used the chart, is what I'm trying to say, from a different pattern, and I just inserted my own design into where all the decreases were and things like that. So this pattern, this is based off of the, and I doubt I'm saying this right, the F. sweater, which is a pattern that was designed for Istex, the company that makes Lopi yarns. And it is a free pattern, which is why I used it. I've also knit the original, which I'll have to show as well. But this, if it'll focus. So this is the pattern originally. It has these like flowers on the yoke. So I literally just took the chart from that and I drew it out on graph paper, and then I kind of plugged in my own design, and I went with these little arrows just as something to challenge myself a little bit, and I really like how it turned out. I think I'm gonna try and make another one if I can find the chart that I made on the little piece of graph paper to follow for the yoke. And then on the cuffs, I just did a really simple like arrows, crosses situation. So I usually wear this outside with a t-shirt under it because it's super, super warm, especially the yoke. My family all thinks it's super itchy, but I don't find it to be that itchy. It is pilling a little bit because it has been well loved so far. And I knit it out of Patton's Classic Wool Worsted. So the tannish color is this natural mix colorway. Then I used black and this maroon color, which I can't remember what the colorway was. I don't have any more of it, but I can link it down below or I'll list it down below in the show notes, where I link the pattern for the F. as well. So I knit the sweater, and I had knit a size smaller for my previous one. So I went up a size to knit this one. And I don't know what happened when I was knitting the body of this, because it's a bottom up sweater. When I was knitting the body, for some reason my tension was super, super loose. So if I was to hold up this sweater, it's like a nicely shaped sweater. And then as you get to like the stomach area, it is like super baggy. And then it comes in again at the hem where the color work is. It looks weird, but it doesn't bother me that much. Normally I just wear it anyways, and it's a little bit baggy. I also knit it super long so it covers my butt, but I just wear it anyways. right now it's super convenient because I'm 8 months pregnant and that space fits the bump perfectly. So I've got built-in allowance for as my belly gets bigger, which is pretty nice. I was disappointed I wouldn't be able to wear a lot of my hand knits because they were made for my pre-pregnancy body, which has obviously changed. So this week I finally have some finished objects. It's very exciting. I haven't finished anything in a little bit, but you guys would have seen these in the last 2 episodes. And I have one on a blocker right now. These blockers look like this. My sister got them for me from Amazon, I believe, last year or the year before that. They're super handy. And so my first finished object is with ends not woven in. I'm still counting it as finished because I probably won't weave the ends in for a while, but I'll still wear them, are my Sprocket Socks. This is a pattern by Megan Nodecker of Pip and Pin, and I do have both. And I knit this out of the Woolberry Fiber Co. Lord of the Rings Advent. So this is the first 5 colorways or 5 days that were in the Advent, and the colors are Middle Earth is this dark green. The gray is The White Wizard Approaches. The gold is Samwise the Brave. This speckled green color is, let's see if I can get it to focus. The speckled green color is Concerning Hobbits. I think that's my favorite one. And then this cream with the brown speckles is called If I Take One More Step. So I had said before that I was a little disappointed with how I was knitting the slip stitches. So for the color changes, and you can kind of see it puckers at each color change. And yeah, that was kind of frustrating, but they blocked out okay. So it's more even now than it was, which you can see on the unblocked one. It's pretty puffy. So what I ended up doing in the foot is knitting the color changes as stranded color work. It kept my tension a lot nicer. It kept my tension a lot nicer, and so I didn't have that puckering effect from like here on, which was really nice. I was afraid while I was knitting them that I was going to run out of the gray color, but luckily I won my game of yarn chicken with only this much left. I was super worried. So I got to the gray on both socks, and then I knit them kind of both at the same time from either end of the cake. So one from the outside and one from the inside, so that if I had to make the solid section smaller, I would end up with the same number of rows on both socks, so they would match. So these were knit on a 2.25 millimeter needle, and it calls for a 2x2 rib at the top. And I don't know what toe it called for. I was just going until I needed to, and I just did a regular wedge toe. So I don't know if the pattern calls for something different. I didn't check. So then I also have a half finished object, which is another sock. So I finished the first sock of my Lockdown Sock Down Cal socks. This is a pair of socks that I'm making for my dad. And this marker here is where I was last week. So I just started the heel flap. So I finished the heel flap. Did all the gusset decreases and finished the whole foot on this one. And this is knit out of a Premier wool-free sock in the Oceanic colorway. And I'm knitting these on a 2.5mm needle and using 64 stitches to get a good gauge for what he needs. Normally I knit on a 2.25 with 64 stitches for myself, and my dad's feet are just slightly bigger than mine. And I cast on for the second sock, and I knit one row. That's all I've got so far. So I'm going to continue working on these when I can. Sometimes it's when my students are working during class because I'm teaching online and teaching art, so a lot of it is project based, so they just work away for the whole class time and I can sit and ask them questions, but I can't bother them the whole period while they work on their art. So once I finish that, I am going to start knitting on a pair of socks for my mom. She is jealous that my dad's getting a pair and she doesn't have as many pairs as he does. So I'm using the Sanascarn Sisu. Don't focus, there we go. And it is an 80% wool, 20% nylon sock yarn. This is left over from a sweater that I knit, so I use this color as the main body. And the color, because it's in Norwegian, this is what the label looks like, so I don't know which one is the color number. So I will end up knitting her a pair of socks as well. And because it's a dark gray yarn that I'm going to use, I would like to do a textured sock. So if anyone has any suggestions for a really good, like nice pattern textured sock, let me know in the comments below, because I have a couple that are go-tos. I just want to see what people will recommend and like. So the other things that I'm working on are my habitation throw. So this is a pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and I am in the middle of a row. Oops. And I am using Chromatic Yarns, the 2020 Advent. So this is what it looks like. Last week when I showed you, I was at this little marker, so I haven't done very much. Just a few rows of the blue. And I was trying to knit. So first, these are all the colors. And this is the 2020 Advent. It's Dungeons and Dragons inspired. And it's getting pretty big. My rows are getting much shorter, but still not short enough when you have to tink back. So I was talking to my sister and my mom last night while I was knitting on this about baby shower things. My sister is hosting a baby shower for me on Saturday. So we're trying to figure out Skype situations and helping my grandmother get it set up so she can participate. And I was trying to knit and talk and getting very distracted. So I ended up knitting 2 whole rows wrong. It's frustrating. I'm sure it happens to lots of people. I shouldn't try to knit on the eyelet row when I'm trying to do something else. So anyways, I had to rip back 2 rows so that I could then fix it. But I'm happy I did, because it would have looked really weird if I had just kind of ignored it. Because I had eyelets partway into the row, and then I knit the rest of that row stockinette and then rest of the next row stockinette as well. So it was just, it would have looked really dumb. But I'm glad I did it. So I'm using a 4mm needle, which I believe is the called for needle for this. And yeah, I lost a little bit of steam on it because it's so big. It's just so much that it's not that exciting. And I do want it to be done. I only have 2 colors left after I finish the blue. So I have this, which I think is next. It's called, the colorway is the DM's Wife. And this one, which I believe is called Fire Sprite, but I might be wrong. Actually, I have all the colorways in here somewhere. Nope, Festive Fire Elemental, that's what it is. So I am just about done. I only have a little bit left to go. So I do need to put more effort into working on that. And my last work in progress is the sweater that I've been working on. I had another work in progress last week, but I didn't do anything on it at all this week. So I'm not even gonna bother showing it. So this is the sweater that I'm working on. It's hard to see because of the lighting in here. So this is called the Stardust sweater, and it is a design by Tristan Molina of Dragon Horde Designs, and I love it. So this marker is where I was last week. So I am getting pretty far on the body, and I'm knitting, I think it's the 49-inch bust size, and I love it. I am zipping through it. I have memorized the chart, so it's really easy to just pick it up and go because I can read where I'm at. I also have a row counter to count what row I'm on if I am lost. And this is a twill and print mini row counter. I love it, it's so cute. And yeah, so I just need to put a little more effort into this. It is getting there, and I'm really excited to be able to wear it. The yarn I am knitting it out of is Patton's Classic Wool, focus, there we go, in the DK Superwash. And this is the Mocha colorway. And I got 6 balls. I got 12 balls of this from my in-laws for Christmas. So they basically gave me a Christmas sweater, which is fantastic. And the pattern calls for it to be knit on 4mm and 5mm needles, which is what I'm doing. And the neckband is a 1x1 twisted rib. And I love the way a twisted rib looks. And the bobbles, like I said last week, are not that bad. I was concerned that the bobbles were going to be a pain, but they aren't. They're small bobbles, so it's pretty easy, and there's only 4 on each side for each repeat, so it's not too bad. They don't take that much time or effort, and they're super cute. That's everything that I've been working on this week. Other than that, I have been teaching online. In Ontario, schools are online only right now, and we just got starting tonight at midnight, starting last night at midnight. Today is January something. Today is January 14th. So last night at midnight, we were put into a stay-at-home order, so everyone is staying home, not doing anything. So I have lots of knitting time. Husband and I are just working on finishing up baby's room, and getting things ready for the shower that's going to be virtually on Saturday. So we're doing all kinds of painting the room, fixing the terrible insulation in this house, and all kinds of things like that. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, other than that, I haven't done any spinning this week. My husband did get me a vintage spinning wheel for Christmas, but I need somewhere to wind the single that's on my bobbin off onto, and I don't have that yet, so spinning might be a little few and far between for the next little bit until I figure that out. But I did order 3 braids of different roving from created by LCB, whose shop I'll link below. She has gorgeous, gorgeous colors of spinning fiber. So I'm excited to get those in the mail and get started on spinning that up so I can maybe make something with stuff I've spun. I mean, I could with this, and I will. I just have to get it figured out first. So that's it for making and for everything that I've been up to this week. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week and are staying safe and are getting lots of knitting or crochet or making done. Thank you for watching and have a great week. I'll see you next week.